I really, I really have no words. I really have no words. Star Wars Rebels Season 2 Finale. Twilight of the Apprentice. Two-part episodes. From 20 to 21. I have no words. I have no words to explain it, because this episode not only, like I said, not only was long 43 minutes if you put those two episodes together, because they were all like, showed up, as part 1, part 2, but if you put all together, I mean, the episode was, the drama, the fights, the revelation, all faces returning, and especially the fights. The fights, mostly of Ahsoka against Darth Vader, the former master. Former master is his own former student, or his former Padawan. And like I said, the music, the drama, the fights, he was magnificent. Twilight the Apprentice in Season 2 is one, or should I say, entire Star Wars Rebels for now, until this episode. Twilight the Apprentice is one of my top 5 most favorite episodes in Star Wars Rebels. So, okay, one step by another. So, Lord Shadow is here to give you the Star Wars Rebels Season 2 finale, Episode 20 and 21, Twilight the Apprentice review. So, this episode, it has so much, Easter eggs, revelations, past clues and everything, everything. But the most of all, I'm really excited in this episode is we have Darth Maul back. Or how he said, former Darth, now just Maul. And Sam Witwer, the one who voiced in The Force Unleashed and in Star Wars Rebels, Emperor Palpatine, is back to reprise his role as Darth Maul, who he voiced him in the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, in the 5th season, which, from my opinion, he did an excellent job, and he really did an excellent job. That's first thing. The other thing is that, the beginning, the chat between Ahsoka and Rex at the beginning, on the fandom, the conversation that he really had, in the way how I, conclude is like the reference, it refers, to their first conversation, with each other, like in the beginning of the Clone Wars series in the film Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which actually was pretty good, like remember like the good old days, between Rex and her, like in the way they talk about Rex, because like for Rex, his own opinion, he said like, it's all about the experience, but her being, like being a Padawan, being with a Jedi and everything, she's like, she outsmarts him, like she is, a bigger rank than he was, and in details is, because clones were always like, on the smaller ranks than the Jedi Knights. Because for them, they were like generals. And of course, Rex was the captain, so you get the idea, It was pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool to see, the other thing. And also, so in this chapter, we had so much Easter eggs. It was only the beginning, but the other thing, before I came to my favorite parts, one of the things I really want to speak about this episode is Malachor. Okay, Malachor in this episode, because it was not like the way I remember it from the Old Republic, because actually in the Old Republic, the planet blew up. The planet actually blew up, and it appears like in the way how they design it, in the way how they put in Malachor in the story, it appears like the Old Republic is non-canon. Because, like I said, in reality, in Old Republic, Malachor blew up, and everything, And I had to say, in the way how you enter, and in the way how you enter, in the Sith temple, and all, around, because like Kanan explained, this, or this old place, it was like a, it was like a battle zone, a war zone, because you can see like all the statues, like all like, transform into rocks and everything, which actually, it remind me of Pompeii in Nepal, which actually was pretty kind of cool, to see that, because in the way, how all like, this, like statues or whatever it was, like we're all like, some of them like, were kneeling, some of them like, were trying to protect themselves, some of them like in horror or whatever, it really remind me, like I said before, it really remind me of Pompeii, close to Nepal, because, thousands, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, the same shit happened to them, when like, Mount Vesuvio, erupt, and, the molten lava swallowed the entire Pompeii, like all, and the remaining ones, they were turned into stone, So, it was really kind of cool to see that, Malachor, like on the same, almost on the same level, because just like Kenan saying, he remind me, because just like Ezra saying, like he found a lot of lightsabers. And speaking of lightsabers, we have a crossguard lightsaber, just like we saw in the mid-season trailer of Star Wars Rebels, which actually is a reference to The Force Awakens, which actually was pretty kind of cool. The only shame was it was broken. That was the only shame. It was really, really, shame. But the way, the one thing I really, was really cool to see, is like Kenan was described. Malachor was a battle zone. In reality, thousands of years ago, at the time of the Old Republic, in Malachor, if you don't know, there were actually, like I said, in the last episode, Malachor is a Sith territory with a Sith temple in it, and thousands of years ago, there was this huge war, between the Jedi and the Sith, on Malachor, and of course, at the end, if you follow, like I said, the Old Republic, Malachor, by herself, blow up, That's one thing. And also in this episode, it was really kind of cool, because even the entire episode, was all about Ahsoka, Ezra, Kanan, the Sith Holocron, the Inquisitors, Darth Vader, and Darth Maul. Hera and Sabine, they didn't spoke a thing in this episode. Even if they were still like appearing in the episode. More, or should I say, more in details at the end. But that was kind of cool, because I really appreciate it, because like I said, this episode was all about Ahsoka, Kanan, Ezra just came to Malachor, tried to find a lot of things about their own enemies, the Sith, And the one thing also is that I also don't want to forget to mention is that the writings that was on the base of the Malachor Sith temple was also actually seen on the Lothal Jedi temple. Fairly enough, Sith temples and Jedi temples, the writings on the base, they're all very similar. The only difference is, that the Sith temple and the Sith holocrons, they can only be controlled by dark side users, or in the short term, Sith lords, and the Jedi temple, they can be controlled by the Jedi. There's also, like I said, it explains why the Inquisitors in the Shroud of Darkness really had to travel, to open the temple, because, like I said, the only ones who can open the Jedi temple are the Jedis. And exactly the same thing, and I'll repeat again, goes with the Sith temples. Also, like I said, in this episode we have a new Inquisitor arriving, and simply enough, is called the Eighth Brother. Yeah, the Eighth Brother, and also is the only Inquisitor we actually didn't see his real face. But like I said, judging from his foot, from his hands, he's an alien, 100% alien. And just like all the others, he has the crossguard, rolling lightsaber. And speaking of lightsabers, that was actually the only negative thing I found in this episode was, in this episode, not only all their crossguard lightsabers rolling, but also it appears like they can fly with them, which if you see them, they look like helicopters. Their lightsabers look like helicopters' propellers. For me, it was actually kind of a little bit pathetic and funny at the same time, because because at one point I was like, for real, and the other one was like, Pretty funny, because seeing the like on the top, like going like helicopters, and with the lightsabers looking like propellers. I mean, like I said, on the same time funny, on the same time pathetic. Just like I said before, That's one thing, And also, speaking of Inquisitors, all three of them, it appears like, I already knew at the beginning, just like in the Grand Inquisitor died at the end of the season 1, I already planned, like all the others, that these Inquisitors, the Seventh Sister and Fifth Brother, they're gonna die. They're eventually gonna die in the end, in the end of season 2. The only matter question was when, in which episode, and in this episode we find out they die in the finale. The eighth brother, I actually am not quite sure, because look, the fifth brother and seventh sister, actually, like I said, they were both hit by Darth Maul, which I'm gonna return Darth Maul a little bit, later, and because I have two things about this episode I want to say for last, So the other things, I want to read it right quickly, But like I said, for the eighth brother, I was actually not quite sure, because this is if he survived that fall, that means we're gonna see him in the season 3. By the way how he fall, and okay, Ahsoka and Darth Maul also, they fall down, from the pyramid, and they survive, both of them. So there's no question as if the eighth brother, if Dave Filoni is gonna again use them, and there's no reason for the eighth brother to survive too, because like I said, if he's really dead, that means this is the first and the last episode we're gonna see him, and of course, like I said, for the Inquisitors, he is the fourth one to be named. But there's one thing, because there's one thing, all the Inquisitors except the Grand Inquisitor, they were all named fifth brother, seventh sister, and the eighth brother. By number. They're all named by number. And there's one, and I'm gonna do a special Star Wars discussion about the Inquisitors, because I know a lot of people, especially for the weapon, they really want to do not see any Inquisitors anymore, in the future of Star Wars Rebels. But trust me, we're gonna see a lot of them in the future. I believe so. We're gonna see. Dave Filoni is going to put a lot of other Inquisitors in the future, for Star Wars Rebels. I do believe that. So, don't get I really want to spare you from false hopes. Yeah, I really want to, So, there's one thing. So, and also, like I said, I'm going to do a special Star Wars Rebels discussion about the Inquisitors, especially because of their names. Because I really have some theory, about the Inquisitors, about how they were named and everything, That's for one thing. The other thing, I also forgot, I really want to mention is that, okay, after we all been said, the Inquisitors, all the way and everything. Oh, right. Before I came to two best parts, the one thing I also forgot to mention is that the holocron, the Sith holocron in this episode. The only thing in the Sith holocron we find out, is that. Is the voice, because if you all read Star Wars, we already know that the Sith holocrons not only they can contains information and knowledge, of the Sith of the older history of the Sith, but also it can contains some kind of how should I put it? It also contains. The spirit. Not that kind of spirit, but in some way, some sort of way, the spirit of an ancient Sith Lord, and everyone, since the trailer, everybody's wondering who's gonna appear in the ancient, in the Sith holocron, because a lot of people say it's gonna be Darth Bane or Darth Raven or even also, I believe me, I was betting for Darth Didu to be in the Sith holocron, or even or Exar Khan or Darth Nihilus or I was even hoping for Darth Plagueis, but if my memory serves me, especially when I read the book, Darth Plagueis doesn't have a holocron, just like Darth Sidious and Darth Plagueis doesn't have. I think that Darth Plagueis doesn't have a holocron. So that's one thing. Oh, and also there was also one, the other, ancient Sith Lord, like, they could have a chance to appear, especially, the voice that was provided. And speaking of the voice of the presence in the Sith holocron, it was voiced by none other than Nika Fillerman. If you don't know who she is, she provided the voice of Asajj Ventress in the Clone Wars, which fair enough, she done an excellent job as Asajj Ventress, Even at the beginning, a lot of people, maybe a few people can angry on Asajj Ventress. Is having a holocron. Asajj Ventress was never a Sith Lord. She was only a dark side user, just like the Inquisitors, and an assassin. And of course, like I said, a secret agent of Dooku. So no, she's not just like the Inquisitors. She was not a Sith Lord. Moving on. So the other thing is that actually Death Star, gave me the idea that what if the holocron is from the Sith Lord from the holocron? I mean, the voice from the holocron is from Darth Traya. Because fair enough, in the video game, she was the last boss in. She was the last Bell, and she was okay. She was all in the. I don't actually remember the game where Darth Traya was, but I know who she. But I know who she is. Why she was famous as a Sith lady. Who she was before and where she went. Because if I remember correctly from the video game, she went to Malachor, and she was in Malachor like this last boss fight. The game had. So it could be possible even her. It could possibly even her be in the Sith holocron. I don't know. We'll see. Because I believe that there's a lot of secrets that this holocron holds, and I really want to see who's gonna be this ancient Sith Lord. But one thing for now we can be sure it's gonna be a Sith lady. So the question is who? Because even like I said, even it could be also the big possibility that it's gonna be like even Darth Raven, because when he was holding his mask, he had a modified voice, But maybe even Darth Nihilus can be in the Sith holocron. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. So with all being said, let's begin with the other two favorite parts of this episode. First of all, Darth Maul is back. Darth Maul is back, and in the way how he picked the interest on Ezra, trying to bring in the dark side, on the same way, with kindness, like saying, like, in the way, being much more rougher, in the way, like, making like Ezra, and make him believe Ezra, like, he can trust Maul. He's doing the same thing that Palpatine did with Anakin. He was doing the same thing that Darth Sidious was doing with Anakin to transform into Darth Vader. And even like I said, even at the beginning when I saw the trailer, when he said, "Call me, oh master," even when, like I said, even from the trailer, I knew that Darth Maul was gonna pick an interest on Ezra, try to make him try to make Ezra as his apprentice, And in this episode, it's confirmed that Darth Maul, not only that he wants to use the Sith holocron, to transform Malachor again into a battle station, but also, to get revenge, on the Empire, because fairly enough, after everything what Darth Sidious did to him, you can still believe, that he holds a grudge against Sidious, because after all, his mother is gone, his brother is gone, everyone he had. Power, the Death Watch, and everything, the Underworld, everything was destroyed by Dooku, Grievous, and especially Darth Sidious. So there's no point, so there's no question, asked that, about Darth Maul. He wants revenge again. He wants revenge on Darth Sidious. He wants, to destroy the Empire. He wants to destroy Palpatine. Or Darth Sidious, whatever, fine, you get the idea, So like I said, in the way, I mean, Darth Maul, okay, if you want to see him, if you only see him in the Phantom Menace, you can only see him, okay, he was a normal, like, skilled Sith apprentice, Sith apprentice. But then but when you see him in the Clone Wars, you can also see he was a manipulator, very good one, a skilled master of deception, a deceiver, he tried, he was so, using others as puppets, except his brother. Well, actually, also his brother. Even his brother Savage Opress was also his, apprentice. But the same things what he did in the Clone Wars, he's doing right now. He did the same thing with Ezra, Ahsoka, and Kanan. Even in Kanan and Ahsoka, and okay, about Ahsoka, I do believe, that she knows Darth Maul. I do believe that. I really, really do believe that. Like I said, that she knows Darth Maul. But Kanan, I really is interesting to see. From where Kanan knows Darth Maul. I really, it would pique my interest in from where he does know it. Maybe from maybe from the old Jedi Temple records or something. I'm so interested to see so much about Darth Maul. What the hell he's been doing since the comic Son of Dathomir. I really want to see what the hell happened to him. And also, by the way, again, he has his double lightsaber, and the way how so much more closer to his lightsaber, it appears like it belonged to some kind of a Inquisitor, because in the way how the shape of the lightsaber, it was so much similar to the typical Inquisitor weapon. So maybe, I know, I'm just saying, because after the Son of Dathomir, because after the last fight against Darth Sidious, not only he lost his red lightsaber, but also he lost the black one. So I can truly believe he easily defeated an Inquisitor and took his weapon. But the one thing I also talk about Darth Maul in this episode, he was when like I said, he was a master of deception, because in the way he was pretending to be an old man, and then again, trying to buy the trust of Ezra, trying to get him closer and closer to make him his apprentice, And the one thing I also don't forget to mention is, when the first time when Ezra met Darth Maul, the same words, the same way, just like Luke met Yoda. And it was so cool. It was really, really so cool, to see. That's one thing. The other thing is, to come before the last, and after that, I'm really pretty interested to see what's going to happen with Darth Maul in Season 3. Because I do believe he's going to be one of the main villains in the Season 3. I can't wait to see. Because after, and by the way, as of this episode, Kanan has become blind. Because thanks to Darth Maul's lightsaber attack, he blind Kanan, And in the way how he fight Darth Maul, wearing this, Jedi Temple Guard mask, and in the way I was fighting him blind, because, look, a lot of people was wondering, what the hell is going to happen to him, because now, he's blind. If you did forget the Jedi training, the Jedi go back when all Jedis were like little children, because the beginning of their training, when just for example, on the same scene when you have in the clones Attack of the Clones, whatever, in the second prequel, when Yoda was training these small Padawans, they all have these helmets, because one of the first steps of the training of to being a Jedi is to train, trying to fight with other senses, and because not only try to stop using your eyes and try to fight your opponents with other, like I said, other senses. For example, including with the Force, with your hearing, all that kind of stuff, So it was pretty cool to see, how he deceived Darth Maul and he fall down, Even if I already knew that Darth Maul is not gonna die in this episode, because like I said, Darth Maul is one of the most famous characters in the Star Wars universe, and this was his like I said, this was his first appearance in the Star Wars Rebels, so I knew they was gonna use him for Season 3, so it was definitely already now confirmed that he's not gonna die in this episode. And also the same way goes for Ahsoka. Yes, I said Ahsoka, because now we came to the last part of this Twilight of the Apprentice, my fearless part. Darth Vader against Ahsoka. The fight against those two, between those two, was amazing. And the music, the moment, it was really, really amazing, you know. And just like, I mean, I already, you know, said at the beginning, because I already knew that Ahsoka at the beginning, when she sends them, you know, like when Darth Vader in Siege of a Fall said, "The Apprentice lives." I mean, I already knew that Ahsoka was not sure if that was Anakin, because even if she sensed it, because even if the Scroll of Darkness, when he was just an illusion, she didn't want to believe that this is Darth Vader, that Anakin became a Sith Lord, he became Darth Vader. I mean, even if she was suspicious, but then after she strike him down and damage his mask and sees him, a little bit of his face, she finally understands that this was Anakin, you know. And the way, you know, and the one also I found really cool was, you know, about the fight, you know, about the fight between Ahsoka and Darth Vader, was, you know, the point when she strikes his mask, and the voice, and then, you know, the combination between Matt's Anakin voice from the Clone Wars and James Earl Jones of Darth Vader. I mean, it was pretty cool, because like those two voices mixed up, you know, like, you know, trying to voice this damaged Darth Vader. I mean, it was actually pretty cool to see. I mean, to hear. I mean, it was actually pretty cool, pretty cool, you know. And I mean, it was actually pretty cool, you know. And the end, and like I said, you know, at the end, I mean, Ahsoka did exactly the same thing, you know, when Obi-Wan did, you know, with Darth Vader, you know. She sacrificed herself trying to save Ezra and Kanan, you know, like, and even at the end, you know, like, even if that, like, the bells, I mean, this temple, like, exploded, whatever, you know, you have, you know, even at the end, like, you know, you have, like, Zeb, Sabine, Hera, Rex, you know, like, all, like, you know, sad because, like, Ahsoka, like, they think Ahsoka is dead, which practically, if you watch closely, you know, after the scene when Darth Vader came out of the temple, all, like, limping, you know, damaged and everything, because I can really see they really had a huge fight, you know. If you watch closely, you know, when, like, this owl from the previous episode, you know, like, when she was entering the temple, you can definitely see a little bit of Ahsoka entering, like, in some kind of triangle type of cavern, or like, you know, whatever, you know, which is, you know, I believe, you know, the rest of the Sith temple, or should I say, what is left of it. So you can definitely see Ahsoka is still alive. Ahsoka is still alive, and it's only a matter of time when she's gonna appear again in season 3. Which definitely, I can somehow presume that she could appear somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see somewhere in the middle. Then, you know, like, I mean, like I said, then, you know, somewhere, you know, at the beginning. Because, I mean, for now, the rebellion thinks that she's dead. For now, everyone thinks she's dead, you know. Even if I already knew from the beginning when they're gonna have the first fight, I knew that she's gonna be left alive, because Dave Filoni is not. I mean, no offense, Dave Filoni is not so, I mean, stupid enough, you know, to kill one of the most important characters of a Star Wars series, you know, off screen. Think about it, George, like George Lucas did. They're not, those two guys are not so stupid enough to kill a important character off screen, just like Ahsoka. So like I said, Ahsoka's alive. She's gonna appear in season 3, and Vader and her, they're gonna have a rematch. They're gonna have definitely a rematch, you know. And then they're going to the ending of the episode. I mean, the ending of the episode was when you see Ezra opening the holocron, because Darth Maul said the only way to open a Sith holocron, is only if you're a true Sith Lord, or if you are thinking like one. And with that part, we can definitely find out that Ezra has some dark sense, you know, darkness inside him, and you know, because that's also, like I said, explains the opening of the Sith holocron. That explains it, you know. So, and that was the end of the Star Wars Rebels. You know, I mean, the finale of season 2. So, like I said, as the finale, as an episode, they're all, I mean, is really, really great. Like I said, Twilight of the Apprentice is one of my top 5 favorite Star Wars Rebels episodes. Really. Really. Well, John, Dave Filoni, you really should direct much more episodes. Really. You should really direct a lot more episodes, because when you are directing an episode, even if you are with other co-directors, I mean, when you direct an episode, you really do a masterpiece. You really do a job well done. I mean, well done, man. I mean, well done. Well done. I mean, and actually, like I said, actually, with all being said, that was the entire episode. Oh, right. One more thing I forgot to mention is, when Darth Vader's mask was damaged, when you see like the little bit of Anakin, if you see the mustache, if you see the eyebrows, it remind me a lot of the original effects of since the beginning of when the Return of the Jedi was released, before it was like modified and everything, alongside when the prequels were released, because in the beginning of the Return of the Jedi, when Luke was taking off his mask, the first makeup of Darth Vader, when he was like all pale and everything and damaged, he had these big eyebrows, because after the prequels and everything, the other things like were modified and everything, he didn't have these eyebrows anymore. But if you watch the original scene, he had this like big messed up eyebrows, and seeing, and this in Star Wars Rebels, like I say, this little part of his Anakin's face. I mean, it really remind me of that scene. It really remind me of that. So I mean, if this connection is true, so I'm really pretty. This also explains, why Dave Filoni, like, and the others were keeping like, with the mask, with Darth Vader's mask with like red googly eyes. That also explains, why, like they're keeping it that way. But it was actually, like I said, pretty cool. Just my fault. The other thing, I think I said everything. Yeah, I think I said everything, so, I mean, I think I said everything. Yeah, I think I said everything. Okay, the other thing is, I mean, I said everything about Darth Maul, his attention with Ezra. The only thing I wish to add is, I mean, that everybody, if you watch the episode, you already know, like, that Darth Maul escaped. He survived the fall. I mean, for God's sake, he had much more bigger falls, than that. I mean, that is nothing for him, But the other thing is, after this episode, I believe that, like I said, Maul is gonna appear again in season 3, and I believe he's gonna be one of the main villains of season 3, and I also believe he's gonna search for Ezra. I believe he's gonna search for Ezra Bridger. I believe he's gonna search for him because he in this episode, you can see he picked so much interest in him, to make him his apprentice, So I believe, like I said, again, I believe he's gonna search for Ezra when he escaped, And the other thing I forgot to mention is Ezra is out of lightsabers, because when Darth Vader arrived, and Darth Vader, when he was staying on his TIE fighter, special TIE fighter, on top of it, in the way how he was like coming down, with the light and everything, that was one of the most greatest villain dramatic entrances I ever seen. Darth Vader can really make a dramatic entrance, and this one is one of them. And also, what else? Like I said, the fight against with Ezra and Darth Vader was pretty kind of interesting, And you also can see in this scene where they were fighting with lightsabers. Actually, you can definitely see that Ezra, improved with his abilities, But still, Darth Vader defeated him, destroyed his lightsaber, Even if you can see that Darth Vader showed a little bit of respect to him, because when he said like, "Then you will die braver than most." Bang! And then in the end he said, "Perhaps I was wrong." That was actually pretty kind of cool and funny, So with all being said, I mean, the episode was overall really, really great. So here I am done. So I mean, I can't wait for season 3. And the last thing I really wish to say, what I expect in season 3 is, like I said, Ahsoka returning, Darth Vader and Ahsoka having a rematch. I really wish to see the official appearance of Palpatine, because it's about damn time we see it officially. I want to see Darth Maul back, which I definitely want to see it. Also, I think we're gonna. I also want to see more Inquisitors. Even if I have a feeling that maybe we're gonna see the eighth brother again. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. I mean, we'll see. So overall, I will give this episode a really, really great plus. So with all being said, here I am done. Read the video, comment, subscribe. You're first think about Darth Maul's appearance, about Darth Maul himself. What do you think about the duel between Darth Vader and Ezra? About the duel about Ahsoka Tano and versus Darth Vader? What do you think? Do you think Ahsoka is going to return in season 3? Do you also think that Ahsoka is alive? April Fools. Of course she's alive. Of course she's alive. You already saw it, you know. But you have to, but if you want to see if Ahsoka is alive, you have to really watch closely. Because it's really hard to see, you know. Drop a like, appreciate that. Peace everyone. Have an awesome rest of the day. Laura shows like always. Signing off. See you next time, and may the Force be with you.